In this video, I will go over a little that is right and wrong with Z06 information. I discuss the transmission filter and oil filter, and I start with some speed fun. Then an axle error message I hope you have never seen. Let's get into it. Welcome to Road Odyssey. Thanks a ton for joining me. I have my YouTube channel with hundreds of car, travel, and other fun video content. Plus my Facebook page where I keep you up to date 24/7.
The buzz around the automotive world about the Z06 is intense, and for sports car buyers, it's even more so.
It represents the best of America taking on the world. It's a source of pride for not only our company, but our country, that we can literally take on the best cars in the world and win.
Is it really that good? Of the 5 Corvettes I've owned, I know it is the best Corvette to date for me. It's a great GT car, extremely good on the back roads, mountains, and cruising the highway. Throttle House published a good video showing just how fast the Z06 is on their track. Of course, drivers, tracks, and other conditions will vary. This one video was very favorable indeed. Z06 outperformed the awesome 911s, C7 ZR1, M4, M5, Dark Horse, Camaro Z011LE, and GT500 even. That's crazy. But no Ferraris and Lamborghinis on this list. I do watch Drag Times once in a while. He has some interesting drag races. Here's the Huracan Technica, close in weight and power, but double the price. And they're off. Solidly wins by just a little. Then on a second race, the Z06 and Technica are virtually even. Wow, not too shabby. In another episode, he takes out his Z06, only 500 miles on it, to race a couple of Ferraris. First up was the 458 with a little less power, but valued at about double the Z06. And the 458, well, it lost miserably, pretty much as expected though. Alright, well then they decided to race the Z06 with a LaFerrari. Extremely fast car. It walked the Corvette. Even if it got a slower start, didn't matter. There's no competition between the two. Next up was a McLaren 600 LT. Far more horsepower, a lot lighter, and off they went. And the Z06 won this race, but it was still very close, just like with the Technica. I think the Z06 is without a doubt a supercar, especially with all that it can provide the owner in terms of performance. And super, because it can play with other supercars, old and some new, fairly well. Plus, all the great features it has over most other supercars, making it that much more great, or super. Remember, the C8s are supposed to compete in the sports car category, though they have exceeded and reached well into the supercar realm. Now for some observations. If you've seen the rear axle off message, and I did once, you might see some of this from a Google search, lots of articles and bits of information. Some other old axle info may be interspersed that you can probably ignore now. So, what does it mean when the rear axle system is off? Well, this message can mean that the computer has sensed an issue with the drivetrain and is disabling the electronic locking differential. Whatever. So this is a slightly common message. This message may be caused by if you overloaded the car. A cracked or broken axle or bad bearing, God, I hope none of those three, or you hit a pothole very hard. Most often, driving until you can stop, turn the car off, and then back on will resolve this temporary issue. Beware that this could be a sign of transmission failure to some degree. It may just be a glitch, a dealership software update that's needed, or maybe low transmission fluid. More importantly, it could be a bad valve body that needs to be replaced. The fluid may just need to be flushed, and just, putting in new transmission fluid, just making sure that is okay. That could be all this is. Most importantly, keep track of this message or any other such message. Try to get it videotaped. And I've seen one or two people mention that if you've got the PDR, you might be able to use that to capture some of these messages while you're out driving around. So anyway, data log all of this stuff so it might help the dealership when you take it in to get it serviced. Speaking of the transmission, is your transmission filter change. The first transmission filter change should be at 7,500 miles. It's advised to have the dealership do this task. You really must do this promptly and consistently in order to not void your warranty. The next, second, and subsequent filter changes are after every 22,500 miles. Again, do these changes promptly. I took my Z06 to Holiday Chevrolet in Whitesboro, Texas, where I bought it. It was scheduled, so I got in fast. The actual trans filter change was fast. 3 different bolt sizes for the skid plate. Taking that off and on took longer than anything. Removing the filter is nothing, so I barely videotaped that. Stupid simple. You lose about 2 ounces of fluid, that's what I've researched and what I witnessed, which is really not enough to care about. After removing the filter, he installed the new filter, just plops right back in, and lets the car down, starts it up, runs it for maybe a minute or so, kind of lets the temperature go up a little bit and make sure that the oil pressure is still good and that the transmission temperature went up a little bit, and then raised it back up to see if there were any leaks. When putting the cover back on, there is a tab at the rear of the plate you should put in first to help hold the plate up. This tech did it backwards. Also, put all bolts in by hand at first to be sure you have them in the right holes and set in properly before using any power tool. Again, this tech had to go back and redo this once I saw him doing it wrong. My Z06 had 2 over-the-air software updates that took maybe 30 minutes or so. Not bad. And then it was done. The service was free. Driving home, which is a long drive for me, I monitored the trans temp, which I figured if it went up, then I might need more fluid, or some is leaked out, whatever. But it did fine and has still done fine after further driving around town. I drove it down to Tub Restorations, about an hour from my house, and out to Falls Craft Upholstery, about an hour from my house as well. I do absolutely love the C8 Corvette, no matter the model or trim. One more quick maintenance topic for those that do your own oil changes. The C8 Z06 manual has listed the wrong part number for the oil filter. The GM number is documented in the manual as 1269438 or ACDelco's PF2270G. Good luck finding either one of them. Ultimately, you shouldn't because they're wrong. From the Corvette forum, I found that the correct oil filter number is either GM's 12730579 or ACDelco's PF2270G. So, there you go. I bought mine from Rock Auto. And something important, if you're oiling your C8 or doing other maintenance yourself, you might consider calling a local dealership for updated or latest known part numbers, that are needed to service your car. So they can always tell you good part numbers. These were the very few, but hopefully fairly interesting topics that I wanted to share with y'all. I hope you really enjoyed it. I tried to make it pretty fun. So please like and subscribe. And I've got a lot of videos, so view, find stuff that you might like, because I've got a large variety. And with that, again, I hope you had a great day. Thank you for watching, and please relax, take it easy, and I will see you later. Bye.